Remember this? Tom Price had to resign in shame. He broke a precedent. He had non-commercial travel. He traveled privately. He must go. So are we going to make that the universal rule now? Well, it depends. Because Secretary Mayor Newmont, Buttigieg, has flown a lot on taxpayer-funded private jets, according to a ton of flight data. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, as much as, actually, he's flown as much as Tom Price has. Wow. Whoa, really? He's just a couple of flights under Tom Price. Literally, like 2 flights under Tom Price. Transportation Secretary Newmont Poot. He's the carbon emissions guy. Everybody has to cut their carbon emissions. Kane, are you cutting your carbon emissions? No? I'm actually increasing carbon emissions. I'm actually considering ways to increase my carbon emissions more. Yeah, like taking unnecessary trips to do totally stupid things. So instead of taking an email, maybe I will get in my car and I'll, especially if it's local, and I'll drive a piece of mail to where it needs to go. And then come back and then get the envelope for it and drive that back too. Right? See, I'm doing my part. So Buttigieg has traveled back and forth all around the country on private taxpayer-funded jets. Huh. Interesting. The House Oversight and Reform Committee, they opened all these investigations into every bit of travel that Trump administration officials took. But when it comes to, Poot, he gets to hop on a private jet. What's different is that Tom Price also wasn't a big proponent of reducing your carbon emissions. He wasn't one of those guys that was shaming people for taking private flights. But if you've noticed, all these people on the left, John Kerry, Buttigieg, everyone else, they lecture Americans. Maybe you should fly less. Maybe you should do all of these things to make your life more miserable and reduce any kind of output or evidence that you were ever on this earth to the planet. Maybe you should do those things. But in the meantime, they'll hop on a private flight whenever they can. Yeah, he's used a lot of private jets because he does important work, guys. I mean, don't ask me to explain what he does. It has to do with transportation stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's what he's supposed to do. He had to go. So one of his trips, he went to Vegas to promote a public works project. And see, he's specialer because you can't expect someone like Secretary Mayor Newmont Poot to take a commercial jet. And what if first class is full? Does he have to slum it in steerage? I mean, come on. So he's got to hop on a private plane and go and promote a public works thing. What's interesting, too, is that the deep dive into his travel has noticed that all of the states Secretary Mayor Newmont Buttigieg has visited on his taxpayer-funded private jet have been swing states in federal elections. But there was one exception. He said, well, Oklahoma's not a swing state. Oh, the one state that you went to that wasn't I guess you got us. But he's been to everywhere from Ohio, New Hampshire, everywhere. He's jetted all around. And he basically is acting as a car, like a show car or whatever. Like how you go and you see people come out with a new vehicle and you have like the women who present them and they do their hands and here's the car. You know what I mean? He's that for these Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act projects from what I'm reading. So you're telling me that he basically just goes and shows up to highlight what we're spending. He spends taxpayer dollars to take a private jet to go and highlight something that taxpayer dollars are doing. That seems dumb. I mean, couldn't you just like zoom it in? Couldn't you? Do we not have that technology? Can you work in audio video? Do we not have that technology to do that?
We can zoom in.
Well, why couldn't he do that?
That's a great question.
But I mean,
I think he was busy giving COVID messages while walking down hallways.
Oh, that's a really good point. Is this what he was doing instead of his job? I mean, the transportation secretary, let's look at this for a minute. Because this seems like a really cushy job. You don't really work. I mean, nobody knows what he does. Does he even have an office? Nobody knows. So the transportation secretary, it doesn't actually give their job details. I don't know. Nobody knows what they do. Nobody knows what this stuff does. The transportation secretary is supposed to, Elaine Chao had it previously. And then, of course, you had Tom Price. But basically, they oversee the formulation of national transportation policy, and they promote intermodal transportation. Very official. And they advise the president on transportation stuff.
Based on what experience?
Well, he likes to drive, and he was the mayor of a town that had buses. So, I mean, he's way more. Oh, and he likes to fly private a lot.
That's true.
So he's, an expert on transportation. He gets 6 figures. Well, upper 5. Let's put it like that. He gets upper 5. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Actually, no, I think it is 6 figures. And I will say that transportation, wouldn't you want to be, if you're the transportation secretary, wouldn't you want to be on private or public transport? Because if your job is to showcase transportation, and if people are having a difficult time with flights because of cancellations, etc., because the excuse that some have given is that, well, he can't be subjected to the cancellations that other, really? That means that he's not doing his job if there are that many problems that he can't even take public transit. If he can't take public transportation and he's the transportation secretary, he's not doing his job. The fact that they don't see this is mind-boggling.